A federal judge may have blocked it for now, but many nonprofits and other groups in Maine are still grappling with the potential of a federal funding freeze. Good evening, everyone. I'm Amanda Hill.
And I'm Brian Yacono. President Trump announced that freeze last week, his second full week in office.
And those working to solve Maine's housing crisis say they are anxious about future actions by his administration. Here's News Center Maine's Christian Harsa.
The freeze on federal funding last week was a big shock.
On January 27th, the Trump administration sent out a memo ordering a pause on all grants, loans, or other funds provided by federal agencies. The funding freeze was quickly met with legal challenges and the pause was rescinded. However, Executive Director of the Maine Affordable Housing Coalition, Laura Mitchell, says that not all has returned to normal.
Some of those funds were released last week when the memo was rescinded, but there are still some funds in question.
The still frozen funds are from the Department of Energy and are meant for weatherization projects, according to the Director of Maine Housing, Dan Brennan.
It's a huge concern of ours. Our federal delegation is on top of this. They have reached out to the federal agency, the Department of Energy. So that's our biggest concern in the moment.
The locked funding amounts to a few $100,000. However, each year Maine Housing administers about $200 million, paying for critical services.
This helps people pay their rent, people that are experiencing homelessness, and it helps people that need help heating their homes. And so it's vitally important that these monies continue to flow.
While funding is mostly restored, the experience of being locked out is still fresh in the mind of Bangor Housing Executive Director Mike Myatt, who says he and his staff are remaining vigilant.
Knowing that was out there, we're just being very cautious and attentive to what's going on the national level.
Across Maine's housing landscape, leaders admit many are concerned, but Brennan is confident in the people he works with.
We are helpers, we are problem solvers, we are people that try and help the human condition, and we just hope that these funds flow to us to allow us to do what we do best.
Despite the uncertainties, housing advocates say that they are determined to continue solving Maine's housing crisis regardless of what resources they do or do not have. In Bangor, Christian Harsa, News Center, Maine.
Maine Housing's weatherization funds could be freed at any moment, and Brennan did say the organization does have other money it may tap into if necessary.